And we are live. Hi, everybody.
Hey,
And we're back. So, if anybody watched the show, we had a little bit of a holiday last week, didn't
yes,
we,
we
Donny?
did.
It was nice.
Yes,
So,
Derek.
Donny and I had some time getting ready for reInvent. So, if you want to know about reInvent and things coming up about reInvent, then stay tuned to the show over the next couple of weeks as we get closer and closer to reInvent. We will be able to keep you updated on what's happening. So, welcome if you haven't seen the show before to Hey, what's new with D&D? My name's Derek. I am a developer advocate at AWS, and this show is all about taking things from the What's New blog on AWS and making them real by building demos out of it. And as every week, it's myself, Derek, and also Donny. So, Donny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Definitely. Hi, hello, everyone. I'm Donny. I'm a developer advocate for AWS covering for ASEAN. And I'm super happy to be back in the show again with Derek for all of you.
Thanks, Donny. So this is going to be a great show today, Donny. I think.
Phew.
Are you going to explain first of all before we get started?
Mm.
What's currently running in your on your machine?
Oh, okay. So, what's currently running on my machine is a virtual box and a Vagrant. So, I'm trying to deploy an applications with Amazon ECS into my virtualized Dockerized laptop. So
Hmm.
that's what currently happening, Derek.
Yep. And how hot is currently your laptop running? Is it attempting to take off and fly across the room?
Yes, yeah, I can hear the noise from here, but the one is the thing is really hot is actually me because I'm so nervous about the demo for today's.
No, no. We will, as always, we will say thank you to the demo gods and hope that
Yes.
they are kind to us today. And as always, if anybody has any questions for us, just ping them in the
Mm.
chat. We're currently live across Facebook user groups, community user groups in ASEAN, and also we are live on AWS Twitch as well. So post a message, and we will try and get to that question as quickly as possible. So. That's what are we doing today, Donny? Tell
Okay,
us.
so will do. So today I have something that's really cool, and why I say that it's really cool because it unlocks many possibilities, especially for developers running container workloads. And today we are going to show you the demo of Amazon ECS Anywhere. Okay, so let me turn on my screen sharing first. There you go.
There
So
we are.
this is the blog post. It's dated back in May 2021. It shows us the overview of Amazon ECS Anywhere, right? And uh, before we go to Amazon ECS Anywhere, let's do a quick overview on what is Amazon ECS. So, so Amazon ECS is the short from Amazon Elastic Container Service, and what you see on the screen is the Amazon ECS dashboard. And with Amazon ECS, I can easily deploy my containerized applications. I get the benefits of a highly scalable, fast container management service, and it makes it easy to run, stop, and manage containers on a cluster. So, in general, there are two things that I like the most about ECS. The first reason why I love ECS is the integration with other AWS services, which makes it easy for me to architect a solution. The second reason is that it just works, less hassle and low learning curve. Now, previously with Amazon ECS, with Amazon ECS, we can have our applications running on Amazon EC2 and also AWS Fargate. But we, as a developer, we have a various number of use cases that require applications to run outside AWS regions and hopefully closer to our customers, wherever they may be located.
Yep.
And in most cases, it means that we need to run the workload in our infrastructure. It could be on premises, colocation server, or any VPS running, right? will it be nice to have the rich features of ECS, centralize all the management with ECS, but still able to deploy to our own infrastructure? And for today's session, my infrastructure is my laptop, right?
Mhm.
And and also my Mac Mini. I also have Mac Mini, Derek. My old Mac Mini
Yeah.
is 2010 Mac Mini. Okay, so
Is that the same sort of
yeah,
Mac Mini that we used to build our binaries in for iOS apps? That sort of Mac
yes,
Mini?
I
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so back to ECS anyway, and for that kind of reason, that's why Amazon ECS Anywhere is all about. So ECS Anywhere is an extension of Amazon ECS, which allows us as a developer to deploy native Amazon ECS stars in any environment. For example, I have a server running in Singapore, which is not in AWS ecosystem. And let me show you. Hopefully that you can see my screen.
I can.
So
Yep.
I can make it
There
bigger.
we go. Got
So
terminal. Yep.
yes, here it is. And it's not in AWS ecosystem. And with ECS Anywhere, I can simply deploy application into this machine. And what
Mhm.
I've done with Amazon ECS and also this machine is that I've deployed a simple Nginx. Right. So it's has the I have this host here, and then also the IP address. Now, and we go to Amazon ECS. Here you go.
Mhm.
We can see that we have. It's going to load a bit. Yes,
Okay. That running instance of Nginx that's running on a container somewhere has been picked up by the AWS console, and you're able to see it as a running container on ECS.
correct. And additionally, you can see that we have two external container instances,
Hmm.
and we can see that there's an this instance is running externally because we can see there's a attribute here. External instance is true. And that confirms that all of the machines that I have for this particular cluster called demo ECS Anywhere are running on external instance. Right.
Yep, yep.
Now,
One in your MacBook Pro, one in your little Mac Mini, and one
yep,
somewhere else.
somewhere else. Right. Yeah. And and when I first explored ECS Anywhere, I was surprised on how easy it is. It's super easy to integrate and start running workloads on external instance. So kudos to the AWS containers team. Really appreciate what you have done because I can see that you've put a lot of efforts to simplify the process for us developers.
Hmm.
In fact, for this session, Derek, because it seems so easy, I had to make another demo that's more complicated. You can
Oh
see
yeah.
that I have two services running, not only Nginx, but a simple Hello World, but it's slightly
Mhm.
more complicated in terms of operations. But let's,
Just one
mm,
question, Tony.
yep.
What about networking and security? Because obviously
Mm.
these are running across the internet. So how, can you just talk about how to secure and how they communicate over the
Oh,
network?
yes, definitely. So that's a good question. So when it comes to, I'm going to answer the networking later on because that's part
Okay.
of the second demo. But for the security itself, in general, when we register the external instance with Amazon ECS, is going to install a couple of things, and that includes the SSM agent. So I'm going to show you on how that we can connect to our ECS instance by logging into the Fleet Manager. And there are three things that you need to get started. First of all, a machine or VM or even Raspberry Pi running,
Hmm.
and they need to be outside of AWS ecosystem, obviously.
Yep. Or a Mac
Second,
Mini.
or Mac Mini. Okay, true. Second, you will need an IAM role. Lastly, you need to have the ECS Anywhere agent that will constantly be running on your machine to communicate with ECS. If you have everything mentioned, then you just need to follow these three simple processes.
Mhm.
First one, create Amazon cluster, like what I have here. Second, go to the ECS instances and register the external instances here. You can see there's the button here.
Yep.
And here you can configure activation key, number of instances, and also the IAM role. Activation key means that the number of days the activation key should remain active for. And number of instances is It's quite obvious. It's the maximum number of external instances you want to register with this particular activation key. And then you just need to click on the next step here, which in case I won't click the button because it has the activation key and anyone can register their instances into my cluster.
Yeah.
But what I can show you, let's cancel this. What I can show you is the redacted version. So this is the redacted version. What you need is to copy and run this command in your machine, and it's done. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
That's all you need to
Obviously,
do, right?
replacing the XXX with
Yes.
real values.
Yeah. And this comment actually, Derek, is going to be provided when we click the next button. But in this case, I will click it because for
Yeah.
security purpose. And just to dive deeper into the comment that I just showed it to you, uh, the the script is going to install the SSM agent, ECS container agent, and installing Docker. And the installation script includes a system manager's activation. So when you run the command in the external instance, in a couple of minutes, you will see your instances running in this dashboard.
Mhm.
Pretty neat, isn't it?
Cool.
Right?
That's very cool.
Super cool. Yeah. And the beauty of having SSM agent installed for your managed infra is that you can directly access it. So let me check. Which one is it? So let's do that. Let's try to log in into one of uh,
Okay, so we're in
the
Systems
external
Manager.
instance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
you're
then
trying to
if
log
I
in directly from the
yes,
Systems Manager into the the container running on your Mac Mini.
yep, true.
Nice.
So when we click the external instance, it's going to redirect us to the fleet manager, right? And if we click on the instant actions menu and we click on start sessions, it's going to give us the access to the machine, right? It's
Yep.
pretty neat, right? And everything's done securely, so it's really cool.
Yep. Totally.
And let me try. You can see that this machine is running on Linux. It has the host name Ubuntu ECS Anywhere,
Hmm.
right? And this is actually my old Mac Mini that called Death Star Mini in my network running on Vagrant,
Yes.
right? And then
Well, we know what happened to the Death Star, Donny, so just be careful.
I know, I know. Thank you for the advice, Derek. Okay, so now, okay, so once that we have, in this case, we have our external instance up and running. The next thing that we like to do is obviously deploy our applications, right? So if we go back to the Amazon ECS, ooh, it's quite slow on my end. Okay,
Yeah, it
so
looks fine here. Everything
okay,
looks fine.
phew. Okay. Uh, you can see in my cluster on Amazon ECS, I have two services already deployed. I have a Service Engine X, which is connected to the external instance, but I also have another service called Simple Hello World. Right.
Yep.
Right. And this service is running a task defined in this task definition. Right. Here you go.
Lovely. Yeah.
Now, in this task definition, we see that we want to have this task running on external instance. And also that you can see that we have defined the CPU and also the memory. And getting the container here, which I got it from the private registry on Amazon ECR. Now,
Okay.
at this point, for you who are pretty new to ECS, might be confused about the relation between service, task definition, and the task itself. So, in layman terms, task definition is what you see now, is actually the blueprint. It's the recipe of your application on how you want it to be. And the task, which we can see it here, yeah. The task here is the instantiation of the new blueprint. Sorry, the blueprint that we have defined in the task definition. Now, the task runs individually as a single element, but how if we want to have a guarantee on like a three tasks running on any numbers, or any numbers more than one task, like probably you want to run 10 tasks. Now,
Hmm.
that's when we need a service here. And service helps us to manage and orchestrate the desired numbers of our workloads, right? Now, in the beginning of the session, I mentioned that getting started with ECS Anywhere is so easy, right, Derek? And I had to make it more complicated. So here is that part.
Absolutely. That's what we like. We like complications.
We do love making things complicated.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So now on my cluster, I have two ECS instance. Right. Now, the question that I want to raise in this demo is that how if I want to deploy my application only into a specific group? Like for example, I probably want to store like a specific data into like a specific external instance, and you
Yep.
can do that by using attributes. So if I click here on this ECS instance and I click on the actions and view attributes, oh, not this one.
The other one.
Here you
Yep.
go. The other one. You can see that I have defined the attribute name env and also the value demo. So now we have the attributes into our ECS instance. Now, if we go back to the services, oh, click the wrong link. Yes.
All right. It looks,
Now,
it
if
looks perfectly fine. Yep.
yeah, so if we go to the service now to deploy the simple hello world service here.
Yep.
Oops, sorry, not this one. The deployment. If we go to the deployment tabs, you can see that to deploy to that group of instances with attribute and value demo, I simply create the task placement with member of constraint, including the env and also the value demo.
Hmm.
And now, if we go to the ECS instance, which is the my DeadStar Mini,
It's still working.
still working. Thank you, Derek. So let me go to my DeadStar. Okay, so apparently it's still running, Derek.
Yep. So the Rebel Alliance haven't shot any proton torpedoes through the exhaust tube yet. This is really good.
Yes, and that's a good news for me, at least for now. And if we do the Docker PS, we can see that Amazon ECS already deployed the applications
Oh,
into
cool.
my Desktop Mini running on Vagrant. So
Nice.
the next thing, if we do like a curl localhost 1990,
Mhm.
we can see that we have this output. And if we go to the Desktop Mini here, to the browser and say, just use the Desktop Mini, we can see that our app is running properly, right? See, you can
Yep.
see it's increasing the requests because it's connected to a DynamoDB.
Hmm.
And if you want to take a look, so that means that with ECS Anywhere, that you can easily deploy any kind of applications and still having that kind of flexibility integrating with AWS services. In this case, I'm using the DynamoDB, right?
Yep.
So if I just run
Cool.
here again, boom, you get it.
Yep.
The request total
Yep.
is 6, right? And
Yeah.
and I
So
just want
that's
to circle back.
so
Yep.
is ECS, just so I understand how this is working. So ECS
Mhm.
Anywhere is proctoring those requests into DynamoDB. Is that how it works?
So the way it works is that it's a simple application. It's a normal application, direct.
Yep.
You can see that this is Python applications. I do have two functions here of save data and also get data,
Hmm.
right? And then this one is running on a Flask. Yes, it's running
Yep.
on Flask,
Yep.
right? And then if we go to the Docker file, right? This is usual Docker file, and then I just package it into a Docker image, push it to Amazon ECR, and
Hmm.
then on the Amazon ECS itself, sorry, on the task definition,
Yep.
let me in the task definition, I simply point the container image into the ECR registry where I push the image for this particular application, and the rest I just need to let the Amazon ECS deploy the applications into my DeadStar Mini.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
So
the container. So I'm still trying to work out,
mm,
Donny, how
okay.
the Flask applications in persisting into Dynamo.
Oh, so when we register the external instance into Amazon ECS, it actually have a secure connection with any kind of ECS service. Sorry, AWS services. That's
Okay.
how it works. And
Yep.
I think I just want to circle back to your question about networking. Because
Yep.
that's a really great question. Networking has this crucial role on running our workloads, right? So in this case, I'm using the host name that I put into my etc host, right?
Mhm.
So
Ah, I see.
everything is running on my local network, right? And not exposed to the internet. So
Yep.
when it comes to networking with ECS Anywhere, there are four ways on how you can do this. The first one is that you can use AWS Direct Connect. Second, you can integrate the networking with AWS site-to-site VPN. These two are quite overkill for my demos, but I can imagine that they are the best solution for running the production workload. Not only you can get the lower latency, your applications can communicate and integrate with AWS services. Oh, and also, like, I have one tab open here. Nathan Peck, he wrote an amazing piece on how you can build ECS Anywhere with Raspberry Pi, including explanation on how that you can, yes, here it is, on the
Mhm.
networking side with site-to-site VPN connection. So it's really cool. So
Excellent.
if you want to dive deeper into deploying with ECS Anywhere with Amazon Raspberry Pi, as well as building the network between the external instances and AWS, please do check this out. Now, circling back to the other two solutions on the networking, the third and fourth options are more more to external solutions, Derek.
Mhm.
The third solution is that you can use inlets.dev. Basically, inlets to create secure tunnels, right? And the fourth
Yep.
solution is using ngrok, right?
Oh
Since
yeah.
this is
I
one
remember
of my
ngrok.
favorite tools.
Yeah, I used to use it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, now I mean I haven't checked them for quite some time, and I just
Hmm.
realized that they now have a cool logo. So s- yeah, so
It's
we
the
can
thing.
use and
Everybody must have a cool logo, Johnny. Come on, like
true,
check
yeah.
out check out my T-shirt. Like cool logos everywhere.
Wow, that's amazing.
Anyway,
So
sorry, we're done. I'm distracting you.
Derek
Sorry.
always have a really cool t-shirts. I envy you, Derek.
No, no.
Okay, so hmm,
So ngrok. So we're using ngrok to we can use ngrok to tunnel into wherever the containers are running.
okay, so something is happening, Derek.
Oh, is your Mac Mini ticking off?
Can you still hear
Uh,
me?
yes, I can still hear you.
Okay, I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you, but
Excellent.
quite uh
So we're seeing that your Chrome browser seems to be stuck on ngrok. Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes. And then I think everything is okay.
Okay, chill. Everything's fine. Oh, I can't hear you now. No, I can't hear you. Oh,
That the last two
and you're back.
solutions are external services, right? And let me show you how that you can use ngrok to get the public access for your ECS application. So if I go so now we are at the DeadStar Mini, right? So I can use the system manager, or I can just use the SSH. And if I run the ngrok command here, region AP, and then port 1990. Oops, sorry.
Not on your path. Slash bin, home bin.
Ooh,
You haven't put ngrok on your path, have you?
Yes, I don't think that I have it installed yet. So,
Oh, that's okay. So
hmm,
install it. Yeah, Croc.
yeah,
Just download it, put it on your path, job done.
it's going to be really quick one.
Yeah, it's not as
Okay,
if you
so
want to put any extra load on your machine at all.
no, it's on desktop mini after all.
Yeah, yeah. That thing will never explode.
Yep. Okay, so
Oh, oh, yep,
while
yep.
waiting, do we have any questions?
We don't have any questions, but
Okay.
there, I have some questions about cleaning up and using. So currently, we for our clusters we're using EC2. You use Fargate
Hmm?
as well, stuff and manage it that way. Oh, you're done.
Sorry, Derek.
I was just
Yeah,
going to
it's
ask
done.
you. Oh, I was going to ask you. Can you use clusters? Can you mix and match clusters? EC2, Fargate clusters, stuff like that. What sort of options have you
Yes.
got for that mixing and matching?
So you definitely can mix and match between EC2, Fargate, and also the ECS external instance, and that's why that in my previous demo I showed you on how that we can use the task placement constraint, so we can like a group the ECS external instances and we deploy the specific applications only to those groups. So that's really handy.
Cool. We do have one question, and hi, yeah, we've got
Yep.
Gunnar. Hi, Gunnar. Um, got one question
Oh, we have
here,
Gunnar.
and we do. Must be early, Gunnar. How does
Yes.
traffic flow through external machines? Is it going via AWS network and then to external network? And does that increase latency? So we've talked a bit about how the network is set up with ECS anywhere, but you want to talk about
Yep.
what latency impacts it would have?
Oh, definitely. Okay, so yeah, just to confirm that when using the ECS external instances, the way to go when it comes to deploying a production workload is that you build the integration with the VPN. So what I recommend is to create a site-to-site VPN, and that will significantly reduce the latency. But when it comes to the latency, that really depends on the stable connection. So that's one the requirements when you want to register your external instances is that you need to ensure that you have a stable connections to communicate back and forth between AWS.
And what about,
Yeah.
say, wanted to use ECS anywhere on a device, say an IoT
Mm,
device?
yep.
Um, could that would that be possible? And how could I, for example, if the network connection went up and down and wasn't that
Mm,
stable, would that be possible
mm.
with this?
So yeah, so the thing is that because we have these fleet managers, the SSM fleet managers to handling the external instances, we can check the status or on fleet managers direct. So the agent itself, they play a really crucial role. They will going to ping and then going to report back to us if the external instances, for some kind of reasons, having this problem, the connectivity problem. Right. So what I did in my test, which I'm not going to do it in this demo, is that I
Okay.
simply disconnect the LAN cable, and and on this fleet managers, it says that it's offline. But when you connect it back again, it's going to show it's currently online in no time. So
Yep.
that's one of really cool features, and also benefits of having the external instances managed by Fleet Manager.
Awesome. Well, let's go, Donny. Show me what you
Yeah.
got.
So yes, so I've already deployed, not deployed, I already run the ngrok applications. And then from here, you can see that I have this SCTP and SCTPS address that I can simply access it from public. So you can see that I have the same application what we have here when I running on my the local network. See,
Yep.
so yeah, so I think that's all the demo that I have, Derek.
Yep, that is pretty cool. I think ECS Anywhere is a nice piece of kit, and it's very flexible, so it gives you lots of options. of where you want to run your application and how you manage it. So I like it a lot. But as well as the things that it doesn't do, is there any thing that you'd like it to do?
Yeah. Um, so I mentioned that it's really cool because it unlocks many possibilities, right, Derek? So
Yeah.
there are a couple of use cases that makes ECS Anywhere is an ideal solution. The first one is that ECS Anywhere is a solution for developers who want to maintain the hybrid architecture between computing on their own premises and Amazon ECS, probably for data compliance or latency requirements. The second use case that crossed my mind is that customers can also use ECS Anywhere as a stepping point before they move their workloads to Amazon ECS. Right? Probably they need to run their workloads on premises first with ECS and then get familiarized with AWS services. And with ECS Anywhere now, we can deploy our applications that requires low latency or even integration with IoT. So I'm imagining that if we can connect like any kind of webcam or IoT devices in our edge computing locations, and then we just deploy the necessary applications using ECS Anywhere. So that's really cool.
Nice, nice, three nice use cases for ECS Anywhere. Awesome. So
Yep.
we're coming to the end of our 30 minutes in today's show. No more questions from the chat.
Mm.
So I think we'll what we will do is wrap up. If this is the first time you've seen the D&D show, we have a list of all of our past episodes that I'll put up somewhere when I find it. Yep, there we go. Somewhere. Oh, I've lost it. We've got our past episodes somewhere. We're also always live on Twitch every 2 weeks at this time. So come
Yep.
join us for other demos and see how much we can actually test our laptops because one day one will actually take off
Yes.
desk. Anything you want to just add there, Donny, in closing?
Yes. ECS Anywhere is obviously easy to get started and is fun to play with. You can simply register your external instances in simple 3 steps, and I highly recommend you to visit the documentation on Amazon ECS. This is the official documentation. It says the external instances, and also where's the link? Yeah. So, oh, here we go. It is, yes. And also check out the ECS workshop. There are a couple of tutorials that you can play with. You can see it in the menu down here below. And lastly, I already mentioned about this, but I will mention it again because it's super cool. The blog post written by Nathan Pack, when he described on building and deploying apps with ECS Anywhere into cluster of Raspberry Pi. It's fun, helps you to understand the networking bits. So yeah,
Awesome.
check
Lots
it
of
out.
resources there to,
Yep.
to get everybody get started with ECS Anywhere. So we're going to wrap up for today. Thanks for people who have jumped on, asked some questions, and engaged with us today. As ever, it's always a bit of fun. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And yeah, goodbye. Have a nice
Goodbye
weekend wherever you are in the world.
and happy building, everyone.
Happy building. Nice one, Tony. Yep. See ya.
See ya.